following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com.
Tuning into Viewpoint on 96.3. Today we have a special guest. Before we get to our wonderful special guest, I do want to give out a kudos to our first responders yesterday for dealing with the dust storm that affected all of Central Illinois. So thank you to everyone. Kudos, and thank you for coming back home safe. So anyway, moving to our guest, Julie King, the one and only. This is your life, I guess you could say.
Kind of. I was wondering when you said special guest if that was in quotations.
She's
special.
She's special, very. On so many levels.
On so many levels, yes. Where do we start?
Yes. So you're retiring.
I am retiring. That's the weirdest thing to ever say because I'm still only 33. So, only sports figures retire at 33, and I'm definitely not an athlete. No.
You're a wonderful athlete. So let's talk about your tenure here.
Yeah.
How did you come to, a lot of people don't realize this, but you're not originally from Logan County.
I'm not. I was 18 years old when I came to Lincoln. So I have spent my entire adult life in Lincoln, Illinois, but I'm not from Lincoln. If your head does not crown at the hospital here in Lincoln, you are not from Lincoln.
You're absolutely correct there.
But yeah, I came from St. Jacob, Illinois. I came to go to college, to Lincoln Christian College. I didn't have any idea of a future, and the minister from my church said, "Why don't you go here?" Mm-hmm. Okay. I was pretty malleable at 18, yeah, why don't you do this? Okay.
Yeah.
So I did. So, left little St. Jacob, 560 people.
Wonderful.
And came to the teeming metropolis of Lincoln, Illinois.
Of Lincoln, yes.
Yeah.
When did you start at the Christian Village?
1994.
Wow.
November 14th, 1994. And I came as a part-time activity aide.
I was going to ask you, what was your capacity of coming there?
Yeah, I worked part-time as an activity person. Mariana Taylor was the chaplain and social services director, and Brenda Maddox was the activity director. And they had a part-time position, and they thought I would be okay at it. So I came and interviewed, and
wonderful.
Yeah.
I do want to say, and I forgot to omit this, folks, if you do want to call in and talk to Julie, we welcome it. She welcomes calls, so 217-648-5510. But circling back, so you started out there, in activities, and it evolved. So what was your next?
I went from part-time to full-time, and then I became the activity director. So then that was my responsibility, was planning the calendars and giving the staff assignments. Anyone who was not able to participate fully in activities, perhaps because they were unable to get out of their bed or they had advanced dementia so that they weren't really able to participate in the way that other people participated, still needed attention. So we would do one-on-one visits with them. So 15, 20 minutes, at least 3 times a week, they would have an activity aide come in and give them stimulation and activity and engage them in the world, even if on the surface it looked like they couldn't. There were still ways to reach a person and offer them some stimulation, whether it was reading to them or singing or hand massage, a variety of things. The easiest way that I have found was to simply treat the individual as if it was you and I having a conversation, as if I was talking to my mom or my grandma or, whoever it was, and treat them as if they were fully engaged and fully there. So
I think we both agree healthcare has evolved.
Oh my.
And it seems like it's constantly evolving.
Yes.
You know, we had Bartman's nursing home, you know, and like we were saying before we went on air, it seemed like residents, you know, were in a nursing home longer than a year, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
What do you see now? How have you seen the changes in everything in healthcare?
There's been a real swing away from long-term care. Typically, someone who ends up in a nursing situation, long-term care is there because their health needs have changed so drastically that their loved ones are no longer able to take care of them at home. And you can get help at home. You know, you see all of these home health agencies everywhere, and that's great, but 24-hour care in the home setting can be really expensive, very daunting. And quite frankly, a lot of the people I worked with never expected to live as long as they did. So they either didn't plan at all, or they didn't plan appropriately. They thought they would have enough resources, but then the expenses got higher and higher and higher, and they reached the point where home health or home care wasn't an option any longer. Or oftentimes, my experience has been that if you have a full-time caregiver, that the person receiving care is doing great because all of their needs are being met. But the caregiver is the one that starts to decline. The caregiver is the one that crashes and burns because they're seeing to someone else's needs, but no one is seeing to their needs. So there's a lack of sleep, poor nutrition, no socialization because they feel like they can't leave their loved one. I facilitate a caregiver support group, and that's part of what we talk about is how to take time for yourself, how to figure out a plan B. Your plan A, you're working your plan A, but what's your plan B? What happens if something happens to you? Then what happens to your loved one? So I encourage people, when there's absolutely zero need, to have these conversations right now. Have them now. Talk to your kids. Hey, if XYZ happened, you know, what would you want to do? How involved would you want to be? What do you want us to do now to plan for that?
Right.
So there aren't any surprises, or at least it mitigates the severity of the surprise, because nobody expects to walk out the front door and have a massive stroke. I didn't plan for that, you know.
Right.
I hope it doesn't happen, but it can. I've seen it happen. So make those plans. They're hard conversations, but have them.
It's real life.
It is real life. It is real life. And what is that old expression? Forewarned is forearmed, or something like that. But I don't know what you do with forearms.
So the nursing home setting, you walk in and people used to share rooms. You know, you'd see 2 per room.
Sure.
That's going by the wayside now.
Oh yeah,
isn't
everybody wants a private room with a private bathroom. I want one.
Yeah.
You know, I want that at home. So, and I understand that, but as the generations change, their needs change. You know, I grew up a family of 6 with one bathroom. So sharing a bathroom, well, you share a bathroom. You know, you make do with what you have.
Right.
But the expectations are far different now for what people would want. Early in the industry, they had different kinds of restraints to help people stay in their seats. You know, you start to lose trunk strength, so maybe you start to tilt, and you don't want anybody to fall. Nobody wants to fall. That's unpleasant to fall. So they had these, it was called a posy vest, and it would go over your head, and then it would, you know, we do a modified version of that when you put a kid that's a toddler, put them in a chair. Yep. You can throw a little T-shirt over the top of them and then over the back of the chair, and it keeps them from falling out of the chair. Yeah. Well, you can't do that. There is no restraints now in nursing, in long-term care nursing. It's zero restraints. So essentially, it's a person's right to fall.
Wow.
However, it's our responsibility to make sure they don't fall.
So where's the catch-22?
It is a catch-22 because you want to do the right thing. It's not trying to restrict people for the sake of convenience.
Your convenience and
it's not
confining them.
convenience.
Yeah.
It's for personal safety. How do I keep them safe?
Yeah.
But give them the freedom, give them individual freedom. And it is difficult, but it can be done.
Yeah.
So sometimes changing the laws, it's an aggravation to start with, but then if you get creative and you start really looking at the person, well, why is that person wanting to get up? They tired of sitting? Well, if they're tired of sitting, then let's plan for them every 40 minutes or whatever it is. Someone comes, stands them up, walks a little bit, and then we sit back down again. So I've gotten up, I've stretched, I've moved my body. I don't like to sit for that long. I can't sit for that long. ADHD girl has to get up and piddle with something because that's how I'm wired. So learning who somebody is, taking the time and making the effort to get drilled down to who this person is and what they were like when they were more capable helps you figure out how to keep them from falling. You know, maybe it's, they call it sundowning for people with memory issues. At 3 o'clock, it's when the kids come home.
Yep.
That's when I'm expecting my husband to get home from work, and I need to have a couple of loads of laundry done, and I need to start meal prep, and I need to, or my kids, I need to get set up for the homework and whatever it is. So if you can enter the mindset of the person that you're working with through help from the family, well, oh yeah, mom always went out to the garden at this time. Then you plan for an activity at that time that engages that memory. So again, it's to prevent falling or exit seeking or all of those things that can happen when the body wants what the body wants, even if the mind can't work through it. So yeah, you have to learn to be creative.
And talking about creative, long-term care facilities have had to be creative as well.
Oh yeah.
You got a facility that has a ventilator unit in it. Christian Village, there you have outpatient, therapy services. And folks, if you haven't been there, I'm telling you, it's beautiful there.
It's nice.
I toured it. It's beautiful. So people can utilize those services there at the Christian Village.
Oh,
Is
sure.
that correct? So if they have a knee replacement, they can they go there then?
Yeah.
Or how do they do that? How do they?
You would get your therapy orders from your physician, and then you bring them to us, and we'll run the insurance for you, so you know what your copay is going to be, just like the hospital. And then they set you up on a program based on what your needs are. If it was a knee replacement or shoulder surgery or post-stroke. Sometimes we work with folks with swallowing problems.
Just different things.
Yeah, physical therapy, occupational, and speech therapy are available. And the nice thing about us is that it's quiet and it's very individualized. Because we're small, we don't have a lot of people. No one shows up at the same time. So your therapy session is your therapy session.
Did you ever think Christian Village would be like that? Because before, if you needed therapy, you were admitted, you didn't leave.
Yeah.
And now it's the comforts of, your loved one or whoever it may be dropping you off or being there with you and then coming back and picking you up, that day. But did you ever think it would evolve into this?
Nothing surprises me anymore. But 10 years ago or 20 years ago when I was, I wouldn't have thought that. But I dream big. I always want something. Yeah. Outside the box. What's a box?
I do not know because I'm never in the box.
Yes, no, I'm not fond of boxes except for, shoes.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we have some callers because we're going to keep diving into This Is Your Life with Julie King and your next chapter now on 96.3.
Brian Clark State Farm offers a range of insurance products to fit your unique needs and give you a peace of mind. Our dedicated team helps you find the perfect policy to safeguard your biggest investments. Brian Clark State Farm can steer you in the right direction on auto insurance, and we've got your home covered from natural disasters to unexpected accidents. Contact me, State Farm Agent Brian Clark, at 217-732-6211 or visit sfinsurelincoln.com. Go Railers!
Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln. Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln.
Hi, we're back on 96.3 FM WLCN, and Julie King, the Director of Residential Services, your final and last title at the Christian Village, is with us. She is welcoming callers, 217-648-5510. Real quick, the future, what would you like to see change in healthcare? What do you, for our seniors, what would you like to see evolve even more?
I would love to see more of the adult day centers. A place where someone can come and there's socialization and interaction with their peer group. But if they need to lay down and grab a quick nap or something, so that their caregiver then can either keep working, which they may need to do depending on how young they are. You know, if they may not be able to retire yet, and yet they've got a full-time position taking care of their loved one. The government's been playing with paying caregivers, family caregivers, and it just doesn't seem to be moving fast enough for that. But your adult day centers, they have to get a license. They have to have a place for someone to lay down. There's meals, snacks, activities. It's like going to day camp. But then the caregiver can go get their hair done, or go to the barber, or go have coffee with their friends, or get the car maintenance done, or anything, you know, a 4 to 6 hour block of time that they can't afford themselves of.
That they kind of can regenerate or rejuvenate themselves.
Yes.
And
yeah. So to be able to do that, we need more of those, I think.
Which, and I'm not knocking Logan County, we do not have that here in Logan County or any. Do we have anything in surrounding counties?
It seems to me there might be a place in Springfield and perhaps Bloomington, but
for here, for our
our
Logan
community,
and our.
Yeah, a lot of people will remember the Perry Center, and that's what it was. some folks tried early on, like with the Oasis. Well, honey, I'll just drop you off here, but then you're asking people who are not caregivers to be a caregiver, and that's not fair to that entity. You know, it would be like taking your kids and just dropping them off someplace because you've got things to do, and you're expecting this group to be your babysitter. Well, that's not fair to them. That's not how they're designed. It's certainly not fair to your kids that you drop off. So to have some place like that, I think would be wonderful. I think more hospice houses where someone on hospice would have a home setting, but it's not necessarily their home, but you create it so that it is more home-like, not quite so institutional.
Yeah.
Not so clinical, because you don't need a clinical setting for hospice care. But to have that setting so that you can have the 24-hour care that you need in a really comfortable setting.
I think you and Barry should start that.
Oh, I'll get right on it in my retirement. There's been in some places, there's a Alzheimer's cafe. And I just love that concept. It's set up like a restaurant, but absolutely everybody that works there has training in dementia care. You can bring your loved one. You don't have to worry about trying to get the waitress or the waiter, your wait staff, to understand that your person has dementia. Everybody is in on it. It's a place that you can come and celebrate a birthday or have coffee or have a nice little lunch or something like that in a setting that is very open and understanding of the limitations that come with Alzheimer's. So I would, if I was going to do something, I would do that. We know
Barry's listening, so
this is not good. I already have a part-time job lined up.
I know we were going to. Yes, we want you to
after my retirement.
Announce it, and your retirement is on the 31st.
The 31st, next Friday.
So you want to tell Logan County, where can we find you next?
Well, in June, I'm taking the entire month of June off, so I'll be easy to find. I will be in my backyard with a cup of coffee and a 103-pound German Shepherd. So
wonderful.
Yeah. I'm going to take June off.
Good for you.
But I'm in the midst of rehearsals with Godspell, so my evenings are kind of eaten up right now. The show's the 20th through the 23rd, and then we'll run to Kentucky to see our grandbaby, and yeah, June is just going to be a time to take a breath.
Good for you.
I can't remember last time I took a full breath.
You deserve it. You deserve it. July. So what are you going to do starting in July?
So starting in July, 3 days a week, I will be the administrative assistant on Hope on 5th. So helping Joe Shaler answer his phone calls and keep his calendar, make phone calls to vendors, whatever he needs me to do. That's my plan.
Where they're gaining a great resource. I mean, you have been in the industry for many, many years. Not trying to age you.
No, that's okay. I was 3 when I started work.
That's right, because you're retiring at 33.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But I mean, you're bringing a lot there, not just to the faculty, but the new people coming in, utilizing the services there. I mean, you're bringing a great deal of vast knowledge and resources.
I hope so. And one of the things I thought of when someone asked me what did I want to do with my retirement, and everybody says, do you want to travel? What are you. No, I want to answer people's phones. But it's because I know how to answer a phone. How many people have called, and then when the phone is answered, you feel like you're sorry you called?
Right.
I don't want that to happen, especially not in that setting. The people who call Hope on 5th, they're looking for hope.
Right.
They're looking for help. They're looking for answers. And I think that after all these years of experience with helping people, that when they call there, they'll know that I genuinely care, that they called, and I'm going to do the best I can to make sure that they get the help that they need from the person that they need it from. But that person might not be Joe. And Joe is such a sweet spirit that he wants to help absolutely everybody, but it may not fall under his purview, and so then he's trying to figure out
where to direct them to
get the help that they need. Yeah. And as it evolves, my understanding is it will eventually be transitional housing for homeless veterans. My son is in the Army, and he'll be retiring from the Army in 2 years, I think. So
wonderful.
I
You
have a heart
son
for
in the
veterans.
Army, and you're 33.
And she's 33.
Yes.
She's doing well.
Yeah. Well, we kicked him out early. Bootstraps, that whole thing. Yeah, our son did a tour of duty in Afghanistan, and he's a combat medic. But once he returned home, then the Army, in their great wisdom, decided he'd make a great recruiter. He makes a really good combat medic.
Really?
He is a very good recruiter, but recruiting for any of the military right now is awful.
I bet.
It's awful. One of the biggest problems is that we can't get our current young generation to separate themselves from this.
From the cell phones.
The fact that they couldn't have their cell phone for 6 weeks, he said that they lose over half of their prospects.
Really?
Recruiting prospects, because they don't want to let go of their phone.
So that's been a deal breaker, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Boot camp, because they can't have their phone. They can't have social media. It's you're ours for 6 weeks so that we can train you to be a good soldier, to protect yourself, to protect others, to learn how to do things.
Mm-hmm. And they cannot grasp that concept.
I don't think they understand that the time flies. It goes quickly.
Yeah.
But
or cut off the electrical cord to the phone. I mean, or this cord. Just.
But the
away.
cutting off. I mean, it would be like cutting off their arm, because you wake up and you put your hand on this, and it goes with you everywhere. But then it's a $1,500, so it better go with you everywhere. You use that, you're on, you're on your own,
right?
Kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been a real struggle. So, but anyway, yes, I have a heart for our veterans and for the military, and Billy Gossett, and Joe Shaler.
Do you have for Julie?
Well, you mentioned how this was going to be your, or maybe it was you mentioned your final title is Director of Residential Services?
Actually,
that's not your final title. Your final title will be retired.
Retired,
Oh,
yeah.
that's true.
Director
yes.
of Residential Services.
This is true,
so,
yeah.
So in terms of what is the post-Julie King life going to be for the Christian Village? Are there any,
The young lady that's taking my place, her name is Paige O'Brien. Paige is lovely. She's in her 20s, so she's about 5 years younger than I am. And
That's wonderful.
And she was our social services director for a number of years. And so she has a heart of compassion, and she's a good problem solver, because that's what social services, that's their responsibility, is to see to discharging people to home and making sure that all of their needs are being met while they're there. Okay, what does that mean? Do we need a wheelchair ramp? Do we need wider doors? Do we need home health, occupational therapy, physical therapy? What do we need to make this discharge to home successful, so that this person can be healthy and happy in their new situation? So that was part of it. And I was a social services director for a little while, and so it's if you've got roommates that are clashing, if you've got family dynamics that are just toxic, how do you protect the resident in that situation? How do you make sure that the needs of resident A and resident B roommates, do they need new roommates? Are we going to carry that problem to the next person? Who's going to make a good roommate for this person if this person is truly the problem,
Right.
for whatever need or reason? Sometimes, and I'm not going to out anybody because they're long gone, but sometimes a person figured out that if they're a big enough stinker, they get the room to themselves. Circling back to I want my own room.
Yes.
Well, I don't have to pay for a private room if I'm enough of a nuisance that nobody wants to be with me.
Right. Yeah.
Which I love. I think that's problem solving on their part, actually.
Yeah, they really did. We have a caller? Oh, wonderful. You got to put the headphones on
I have to
there.
put headphones on. Okay.
Hi, caller. Sorry. Oh, just a second. Okay, now go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
This is Jeff Hills, and calling in to wish Julie best wishes for her retirement.
Well, thank you. Gosh, Jeff is in Ohio now.
Yes. Boy, I have appreciated the many years we spent together, and Julie, you were amazing.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you.
You have blessed so many lives, including residents and those of us that had the privilege to work with you. So just wish you the best.
Well, thank you so much. It was a delight to work with you, too.
Well, thank you.
Jeff was the head of our foundations, vice president of foundations for the Christian Horizons. So,
Oh, wonderful.
yeah, we got to do some conventions together.
We did.
Yeah, because I do massage therapy. I was the carrot, apparently. On the stick, I was the carrot because we were giving massage to people who would come by the booth, and then Jeff and Terry would snag them and talk them into giving money to our organization.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So he's a good friend.
Okay, well, have a great day.
Thank you. You take care. Tell Rob and I said hi.
I will. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for calling in. Again, callers, if you want to call in and talk to Julie, the number's 217-648-5510. And a caller from Ohio.
Ohio. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
That's crazy.
That's great. That's great. So if somebody was buying a home or building a home, what's your advice to them? If they're saying, this is my last
I circle back to making it so that you can age in place. So that means at least one of your bathrooms, have it be a walk-in, a walk-in shower.
Oh, we got another caller.
Oh, ring the bell.
And she rang the bell. Go ahead, caller.
Hi, Julie. It's Joanne Marlin.
Well, hi, Joanne.
Hey, I had to call in and wish you a great retirement, but yet you're going to be working, I understand. Of course, when you were talking, I had a phone call and I couldn't hear everything. So I understand you're going to be residential assistant at the Hope.
Oh, no, I'll be the administrative assistant. I will be answering their phones.
Okay.
So if you call there and you need something, then I will be picking up the phone and saying, thank you for calling. Hope on 5th. How may I help you today?
Okay, and that's at Hope?
Yep, Hope on 5th. They're on, used to be St. Clara's. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll be Joe Shaler's assistant.
Well, you've been doing a wonderful job. Whatever you do, you're always really good at it.
Well, thank you.
And I love you in all the productions and the singing and all that. You can do everything, seems like.
Well, I give it a good shot, if nothing else.
Yeah, and I can remember you helping out so much when my mother was at the Christian nursing home. And then, of course, I was in rehab for a while with my kidney problems. And you just are wonderful, and so I wish you a lot of luck in your new position.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye, Joanne.
Thanks for calling in, Joanne. That's wonderful. Thank you for calling in. So you were saying for people, you said wider doors.
Wider doors. Lower steps.
Lower steps.
Don't make a high foundation on your house.
Yeah.
So
Wonderful.
I should just leave these on.
We can leave the headphones on, yes.
Yeah.
They're stylish.
Go ahead, caller.
Hi, Julie.
Well, who am I speaking with?
This is Aubrey.
Oh, hi, Aubrey.
I was
my
calling
coworkers.
to let everybody know that Julie is going to be tremendously missed. That there's a hole that will not be able to be filled with her gone, and that we love her.
Well, thank you. I thought maybe you're going to out me about something.
No, I was being very nice today. Very nice to you. I would never out you on public radio. I just really want you to know that we will miss you.
Oh,
and
thank
that we
you.
hope you have a good retirement.
Well, thank you. And let me remind you, we have a tour at 10.
I'm here. I'm here and waiting.
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect.
Bye.
Bye, Aubrey.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great.
Aubrey is our nurse manager for our assisted living.
Uh-huh.
And most people don't even know that we have assisted living because it just, the sign out front says Woods Foundation Garden Villas. But it's a 12-bed assisted living, so it's small enough that you can have relationships with people, you know. We've got Castle Manor and Timber Creek, and they're both beautiful, and I recommend them to anybody. I truly do. But if you have somebody who's not real social, they don't like a lot of people, or maybe they don't like to walk very far, or it's difficult for them to walk very far, we're only 12 beds. So it's a little more intimate. It's like a nice fraternity sorority house, really.
Yeah.
It's got open concept kitchen and dining room and living area.
Oh, neat. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So, yeah. And anyway, she's our nurse manager for that, and she has the background in dementia care as well. So she's just amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
It seems like we've got more and more, people with dementia now, unless it's, it seems like it's coming, I don't know, not out, I want to say, but more aware. We're more aware of, dementia needs, and they're being diagnosed earlier. Do you think that's what's happening now?
Well, in part, and this is just conjecture on my part, but you talk about the boomer generation, and it's one of the largest demographics. So you're going to see an uptick in it anyway just because of the large numbers. Some of it they're finding is chemicals that we've been exposed to, diet, exercise, different things like, lifestyles. But there seems to be a greater awareness of the different types of dementia now, instead of just lumping it into senility. When we were kids, that's what it was called, senility. Well, then it became dementia, but now it's dementia of the Alzheimer's type, or it's dementia related to Parkinson's, or and then in the Alzheimer's, there's Lewy body dementia, and there's a lot of offshoots from it. There's more studies being done. They recently found that there is a bacteria in the gut that is present in, I think, 98% of people with dementia. So now they're looking at the gut-brain connection. One of the other things that you'll notice with folks with any kind of dementia is that if they get like a bladder or a urinary tract infection, that it affects their cognition. So there's some connection between the bladder and the brain, and the gut and the brain. So they're really honing in on what the possible causes are. But I do think that there are more cases simply because there's more in that demographic right now.
Right. I've been told by my doctor that vitamin B12 is a huge deficiency, can help lead on the onsets of dementia. So,
Well, and the Western diet is just awful.
It is.
So
it is. It really, really is. So, Harvest of Talents.
Yes.
You're also part of that, too. We've had you on talking about that. What do you guys have ramping up? I know it's coming up in October. And, we're already coming up to June.
Yeah, they just had the ladies' tea, and in June they'll have the IGA cookout and a bake sale. So, be aware of that. Swing by, grab a Sammy. Cakes, pies, cookies, Is there
anything different changing or adding this year to the Harvest of Talents at all?
Not that I'm aware of, but I'm not on the committee any longer. We just keep active. Barry and I do 2 booths. We have the Man Cave and Cottage Collectibles, because we do a lot of upcycling and recycling and, repurposing things. So you never know. Our dog moves around quite often because she's afraid we're going to turn her into a lamp. Although she's tall enough, she could be a coffee table. She could be a traveling coffee table,
yes.
That's a thought. we did think about getting a harness for her so she could bring me my coffee every morning, because Barry doesn't like doing the stairs. And he does bring me my coffee every morning. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, anyway. I can't think of anything else. Then there's the musical offering that's usually in September, and that's a big event. But so there's quite a lot.
So, well, I enjoyed working with you in the past when I worked, in the long-term care industry, and I valued your friendship, and I still do highly. And
well,
like everybody said, resonated. You're a joy.
Oh, thank you.
You're wonderful.
Yeah, I'm gonna zip back to 77, and I got to thinking about all of the different jobs that I've had. So I worked at the garment factory, and from the garment factory went to Decker's Shoes. From Decker's Shoes, I went to Dr. Gurga as a dental assistant. So I went from feet to mouths. I did not stop anywhere
in between, did you?
No, I don't know what that would look like.
Okay.
So from Decker's Shoes, I went to Abe's Caramel Corn and the Christian Village. In between there, I got my license as a massage therapist, and my first husband and I had a DJ service. And if anybody calls in and can tell me what the name of that DJ service was, the first person to call in that knows the name, I will buy you coffee from the guest house. I'll get you a gift certificate, and you can go and get coffee at the guest house. So from the DJ service, massage, then I went full-time to the Christian Village, still doing massage, still doing the DJ service. Then in my second incarnation, I stopped I no longer had the DJ service. I backed out of massage therapy because in 2001, I remarried. I got 3 teenagers, 2 dogs, 4 cats, a mortgage, and a twitch in my eye. And I thought maybe I needed to just narrow things down a little bit. Yeah. So then I did work a couple of times for the Maple Club doing shows for them. And then, of course, community theater has eaten up a lot of my time as well. So I've had a lot of jobs, and all of those I've met some of the same people, have gone through the whole universe with me, and others have been individual to that. Like, there's probably 400 or 500 young adults walking around with feet that I put shoes on from 10 years at Decker's, and then another 100 people or so that have had my hands in their mouth.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful.
It's been a wild ride.
Well, Logan County's blessed to have you.
Oh, well, I'm blessed to have Logan County. This truly is a wonderful place to live. I'm distressed with how many things are closing and the threat of things closing. And I know everything changes. If you look at the history books, those books that Paul Gleason and what was it, Bill Beaver? No, Paul Beaver. Paul Gleason and Paul Beaver.
Yeah.
The books that they put together, and you look at all the businesses that used to be here and how this town and this county have evolved over time. It's making me sad to see things go, but I am encouraged that there will be something that will take its place, because there always seems to be something to fill in that spot, like trying to dig in sand underwater. You pull that sand out, but the water comes right back and the sand comes back. So I'm really praying that what comes back to fill it will be
something beneficial.
Something where families will want to come and say, yes, this is where I want to put my roots. I want to retire here. I want to raise my kids here. I want to call this home. I really pray that happens for us, because this is a really a beautiful place to live.
It is. It really, really is. So, Jim, you have anything for Julie? Any Julie stories you want to not even out her out on air? So,
I think I may have paid him off for all the ones that could hurt me. Nobody called in about the DJ service.
The DJ service.
Do you remember what it's called?
I can see it, but I cannot remember it.
I can't remember either.
Do you remember? Because you've been in radio forever.
Yeah.
Lloyd.
Tickled Pig.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what?
Tickled Pig.
I forgot.
Because everybody wanted to call it Tickled Pink, and I didn't name it. I just did the logo for it. But Tickled Pig. Okay,
Tickled
this is
pig.
what a tickled pig looks like. My interpretation of a tickled pig, anyway.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Neat. Well, Julie.
Yes.
We appreciate you being on.
Well, I'm surprised you wanted me, but I love
surprise.
it. I love it.
No surprise.
Now, I will say one thing. Now that everyone knows that I am officially retiring, please don't call me and ask me to be on a board.
The letters are going to start coming in the mail to you.
I've already had 2 calls. It's like, I'm not even retired yet. After 29 years, I'm really tired of meetings.
I get it.
And conference calls. Don't make me do it anymore.
I get it.
I'm begging.
I get it. You're wonderful, and
Well,
you
thank
are.
you.
And you're going to be, like I said, a true asset and blessing to Hope on Fifth.
That's my hope and my prayer, that
Yes.
I really will be able to continue helping people just in a different way. To be able to go home at night and not worry.
Right.
I'll probably find something I can worry about, but, to not worry as much as going home after taking care of 76 people and making sure their needs are being met.
Yeah. Well, we're blessed to have you.
Well, thank you.
Happy retirement.
Yay me! Let's have cake.
We will. We will. So, folks, the Lord, weather willing, we will return next week on Viewpoint.
This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.